I salute you, my dear friends. Many blessings. Welcome to the Bowtie Chronicles. Enjoy.
All right. As we begin to look at setting up this YouTube channel, Bowtie Chronicles, here in actually October 2nd of 2024, one of the things that really kind of just urged me to establish is really a couple of guiding principles that people have really as I begin to teach financial literacy and financial education, there's some guiding principles that I refer to them as inflection points. And these are important inflection points in part because these were moments where change occurred. These were moments where, uh, as people were learning skills that they were never taught. Um, and, full disclosure, I grew up in the inner city in Macon, Georgia. So full disclosure, and I grew up in well, not rural. I grew up in inner city um, area of Macon, Georgia. I grew up extremely poor, and back when they used to have, not EBT cards, but when you were on WIC and you actually had to stay home to actually get your WIC provisions. They called them the milkman, and they came once a week. And so, that was the thing that I did to take care of my family and make sure that we had provisions for that particular week for my particular family. And so, um, the thing that I learned over life as a part of financial literacy uh, are some things that I have tried to codify and develop a set of tools that I have just over time, just really over time, tried to use that I'm going to um, really try to curate for you on Bowtie Chronicles. And um, part of what have driven me for bow ties. Most days I wear a bow tie. Today I really want to be casual because I want to introduce this to you in a very casual way. You kind of see all the pictures around me, whether it is, the pictures behind me. Actually, which way I'm pointing? Kind of pointing those three pictures, all the pictures on that side. I kind of have pictures all around me. You can't really see them, but all the pictures I have bow ties. Whether it is, as you can kind of see here, bow tie. Um, you kind of see here, bow tie. Um, here, bow tie. So for me, I usually wear a bow tie every day. And part of the reason I wear a bow tie is really to show respect and to honor my grandfather, who was born in 1921, and he wore a bow tie or a tie each and every day. And so, as a part of respect for him and the knowledge and the wisdom that he just taught me, I mean, just really just not necessarily book knowledge, but just common sense and wisdom in my uh, personal life and professional life. I pretty much wear a bow tie. And so, um, what you're going to get today or throughout on my channel or what I call the golden nuggets. And these golden nuggets are from Grandpa Eddie. And I used to refer to them as the Eddie notes. They were my Grandpa Eddie notes. And so the Eddie notes were nuggets that I got from him when I used to go spend time with him, especially on the weekends. And we used to sit down and play checkers or chess. And we used to just spend quality time. Um, and when my grandfather used to uh, talk with me, I knew that I wasn't going to win, but or he wasn't going to let me win, but there was always moments where I would get a Grandpa Eddie note, and so these are some of the notes and wisdom that I'm going to really share with you as a part of this channel. And a lot of them are financial, because I'm very blessed and fortunate, to be debt free. I'm very blessed and fortunate that I have multiple properties, and very blessed and fortunate that we live a life that we work because we want to work, not because we have to work. And we're very blessed and fortunate to live a life that we're living out of the um, access, and not living out of the corpus. So um, and so the spiritual people would say we're living out of the overflow. And so some of the things that that you're kind of here we kind of talk about are the inflection points. And inflection points are it's that moment when things change, and you have to pivot. And that was a moment that I know in my life that when I was a teenager, and I was in high school, and my grandfather used to say to me that this is an inflection point, and this is a time where you're too old to be a kid, but you're not old enough to be an adult. But the decision that you make now will affect the type of adult that you will become. And it was an inflection point. And this is a time that you're going to have to make a pivot. And your pivot will determine what you will become in life. And I didn't understand the consequences at that point in time. I think I was like 13 or 14. I was a freshman or sophomore in high school. And I had to make some decisions because I wasn't necessarily hanging out with the right people. And I wasn't necessarily making the right decisions for the right things to do in my life. And so that was an inflection point that for me, um, that that really changed the trajectory of not just my life, but I now realize my life, my kids' life, and the future of now my grandkids' life whenever that time comes. I'm the first in my family to graduate with a college degree, and um, as probably seen from other videos, I actually have four college degrees, and very fortunate that everyone in my family, my spouse and partner is a college graduate. Both of my kids are college graduates, and even one of my kids actually has she's a doctor as well. And so all of them, that inflection point was when my grandfather said to me that it is not enough just to survive. His generation survived. My daddy's generation had to thrive. Now is my generation time generation time to be um, extraordinary. And in order to be extraordinary, you got to have the credentials to be at the table where other people be extraordinary. And so his generation, it was enough to just to survive. So just to graduate high school was enough. My dad's generation was just to thrive, and thriving was if you can go to college. And so both of my parents went to college, neither did graduate, in part because while they were in college, surprise, they enjoyed college so much that I was created, and we know what they were studying, that I was created, and both had to leave college, and of course from there. But for me, it was time for me to be extraordinary, and that meant that I needed to graduate and um, be something exceptional, and it was going to take a college degree for me to do those things. And because the college degree was not about the degree, It was about the environment I was going to be in and the lessons I was going to learn in that environment to prepare me to be successful in a world that was evolving outside of the community and the ecosystem that I was currently living in. And so, so we're beginning to discuss as a part of our, this channel, the inflection points. Another thing we're beginning to talk about and look at is, what are the things that are happening in your life what are the footprints that are left? What are the things that are happening in your life that have left footprints? Are there positive footprints? Or there impressions that have left, negative impressions in your life that you still have marked and scarred you? And so, you know, and a lot of them are decisions that have been made, and a lot of them are real around, financial decisions. And so, and the effects of financial currency. And I never forget that my great grandmother was from rural Georgia, from a little small town called uh, Bartow, Georgia. And I used to go down and literally she used to keep money in a mattress. And but she used to say, "Well, I don't trust banks because banks will take your money and you don't know where your money's at, and and they'll never give you money back." Well, that wasn't necessarily true. And I just think about how that affect you know how she raised her kids, which was you know my grandparent, and then how that affected how they raised my parent. And so for me, I have a different perspective about that, and just really renegotiating, some of the preconceived notions that we've been taught, um, in our lives. So really looking at money from the perspective of what are the footprints, the positive footprints that have been placed in life, or the negative impressions that have been marked because we felt stepped on or we've been taken advantage of, are some of the things we kind of just need to look at and understand, throughout life. And so we kind of just understand those type of things. And so there's some concepts that we also get into, that I'll kind of walk through as a part of our channel. I help you to understand the power of the process. Oftentimes we want to just do something because we want to get to the product, and we don't want to go through the process of learning how to understand how to do something. We just want to do it. And so I want to teach you how to properly plan so that you understand how to manage, um, and reach the intended product, because you've gone through the right process. And so, oftentimes people just want the product. I want you to learn the power of the process, because, some people say, um, knowledge is power. I said no. Applied knowledge is power, because you can have knowledge, but if you don't apply it, it doesn't become powerful. So knowledge is potential power. Applied knowledge is actually power. So I want to make sure that you kind of understand how to apply, um, the particular power that you kind of just have. And then we're kind of getting through some of the kind of concepts that, we'll begin to look at, and I begin to share with you, some of the things I refer to as understanding the economics of life. Um, what are some of the economics of social and emotional intelligence? Um, what are some of the, um, understanding the policy and the power of the protected privilege? For instance, despite being a person of color, I do have privilege because I have a college degree. That is a protected privilege. You can't take my degree away from me. And so, that comes with a certain degree of rights. And so just understanding that aspect. And then there's some other concepts that we'll begin to get into, the maintenance of having a 5-star mindset. And I kind of get into the 5 stars and what they mean as it relates to financial sustainability and financial awareness to prepare you for long-term success. And so those are some general concepts that we're kind of get into to actual build your strength and help you to maximize your time within this particular channel. So I just kind of want to just give you a nice little overview of what things are so you can be prepared to understand both the breadth and the depth of the things we will discuss as a part of this channel. Take care. Remember, the strength of your mind you should use to empower yourself.